Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depends on what part of the world it is that you are joining me from. In case you're meeting me for the very first time, my name is Sheyi Agade. I am a leadership growth expert and a learning and development specialist. I specialize in helping individuals and organizations to discover clarity and become the very, very best versions of themselves through coaching and training interventions. And today we're going to be having one of those very, very many interventions. We're having a webinar. And as you know, these webinars have been specially dedicated in celebration of our women. So it's celebration of the International Women's Day. The last time we had an amazing conversation, and I can bet you today we're going to be having another wonderful, wonderful conversation today. Now, our speaker is backstage and she's going to be coming up very, very shortly. This is just to let you know that, yes, we are here. We are presently streaming on multiple platforms. So right now we are on YouTube, we are on LinkedIn, and we are on Facebook. Any of those platforms that you are on, you are very welcome. We'd just like to know where it is that you're joining us from. So if you can drop in any of those on any of those platforms, just drop in the comments box there. We can see them. Let's know where it is that you're joining us from. This is the time to actually share, let everybody know, yes, we are live once again, and we're doing this together once again. And in the course of the conversation, we'll be able to take some of your questions, comments, or whatever, so you can drop them in the comments box there right where you are, and we'll try as much as possible to take as many as we can in the course of our conversation. So like I said earlier, our speaker is backstage and she's going to come up very, very shortly. But just before I bring her up, earlier, before I came up, you would have seen some videos that were playing on the background. In case you haven't heard, the Impact Leadership Conference, the next edition of the Impact Leadership Conference, is happening in the city of Birmingham. And that's on the 13th of April. That's in probably about 3-4 weeks time, right? On the 13th of April, it's taking place in the city of Birmingham. But as usual, it's a hybrid event. So even if you're not in and around Birmingham City, or you can't even make it there physically, yeah, we've got you covered. We'll bring the conference right to you. So someone should be dropping the link in the comments box for you right now. If you would like to register for those, all you have to do is register. It is absolutely free. It is not cheap, but it is free because someone else or some other people have totally paid for it for you to be a part of that. So all you have to do is secure that. Registration is compulsory, so that's why you have to register to be a part of that. I see a number of you have joined already. I see I'm not quite sure who that is. I see that's Sergeant Carl. I see Sergeant Carl on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining us. And all the other platforms as well. Thank you for joining us. All right, so very, very shortly, I'm going to bring our guest up. But before I do that, right, I'm going to be playing her video profile just so you have an idea of who it is that we're speaking to today. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to step out of your way now, play the video profile for you. And when I get back, I'll be pulling up our guest speaker. So see you shortly. Bye-bye for now.
Alexis Bird, a talent acquisition specialist, brings academic depth and practical expertise to HR management. With a bachelor's in HR development and an ongoing MBA in human resource management, she excels in global program management, driving end-to-end recruitment projects. Alexis champions diversity and inclusion through workshops and professional groups, supporting people of color in tech. Skilled in data analysis, she identifies talent trends and streamlines HR processes through electronic systems. Currently at Harman International, Alexis strategically sources senior engineering talent, employing networking and data-driven approaches. With precision and dedication, Alexis is an indispensable asset in talent acquisition. Joining us to discuss the topic growth in and out of the workplace, professional and personal advancement, join us as we welcome Alexis Bird.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Alexis on board. So Alexis, you are welcome. Let me be sure that Yes, Alexis, you're welcome. Thank you very much for being a part of the conversation.
Thank you, Shay. Thank you so much for inviting me here today. I'm excited to be here and speak with you.
Thank you very much. So, I know we just went through your video profile, right? But we would like to always
Yes.
hear from what we say, like the horse's mouth. So, please talk to us. Who exactly is Alexis? Talk to us about that.
Yes. So again, Alexis Bird. I am someone that believes in just professional development, personal development, always, always, always striving for the best. I am currently a talent attraction, talent acquisition specialist. So within the realm of HR, I am within recruiting. So partnering with the business, really advising, using data and metrics, really being that partner to find and attract that new talent to the business. But I'm also someone that strives for professional development again. And so I am currently in my MBA. With a concentration of human resource management. I do want to go further, really be that, talent advisor, chief of people, where I can really make an impact, really drive processes. And of course, one of the things that really is close to me is to be impactful and making sure that I can create diversity within companies and being that strategic player. Within human resources, I have had, a major play and part in all sectors. And I really navigated to just recruiting, being that partner, and really, putting a damper into biases within the workplace and making sure that companies can strive to have effective DE&I practices.
Oh wow, that's very fantastic. Thank you very much. Now you told us, I mean, you are in the HR space. Just out of curiosity, how did you get into that space? Is that something you've always wanted to do while growing up, or you found yourself in that space and you've been there somehow since then? Please talk to us about the journey.
Oh my gosh, the journey was crazy. So funny enough, no, I did not find myself wanting to be within HR. I actually had to navigate a long path. Going into college, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I come from a family of a lot of people that are within the healthcare sector. And as a woman, you're kind of told and brought up, hey, healthcare, it's a safe place. That's what women do. And so going into college, I really navigated in that mindset of, well, healthcare is safe, and so I should stay there. And so I first went for nursing, and it just didn't fit me. I didn't like it, but I did like the people side of things. And so I said, okay, let's transition to teaching. And I love teaching, but again, it just didn't click for me. It wasn't, something that I was passionate about. And for me, it's important to find your passion. And so I said, okay, teaching isn't it. Let's switch to physical therapy. Again, in that healthcare space, and physical therapy just did not click for me again. And so I took a year off of school to really understand, what do I want? What do I enjoy? What am I good at? Really take that time to set apart. And that's when I had a conversation with a counselor, and she said, hey, I'm looking at your transcript. I'm looking at these classes that you excel in, and just having a conversation with you. Have you thought of human resources? And at that point, I was like, I don't even know what human resources does. I don't even know a job. Like, what could I do in that? And so she had given me a pamphlet of a few classes, told me a few possibilities that you could go in within the career space. And I was like, blown away. Why didn't I think of this? And so I remember I was like, I've taken 4 years of college classes, and I tried to navigate myself, and it just didn't work out. And so I took my first human resource class. And I remember after that first class, I was like, I love the professor. I love the space. I just know I can thrive in it. And so I ended up making that my major, going through the 2 year program in 1 year and completely accomplishing it with a 3.9 GPA. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I thrived. And it really, looking at my background, I'd worked in service, I'd worked in, the food industry. And so I've always worked with people, and I've always had those great skills of working with people and talent development and, all these skills that you need in HR. And I didn't realize that that's what I was already doing. And so when I had taken the classes and I had all these transferable skills, it matched and it clicked and it was for me. And so thankfully, there are great counselors out there, great career coaches, and I was able to speak with one. And she really helped me navigate my path. And so it took me 4 years to figure out, don't go into the safe spaces. You don't have to, navigate life looking at what your family has done or, what you see others have done. Really think about what I enjoy and my background and what I've been able to do and accomplish. And that has helped me. So after that first year of, college, going through that, I was able to make that transition into human resources, has, stayed there after, and I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I've been able to do some generalist work, coordinator work, transferred into HR recruiting, technical recruiting, and that's where I am now, and I completely enjoy it. And so I'm thankful for my journey. It has not been, steady, fast, and quick, but it has allowed me to really understand what I like and what I'm good at and what I'm passionate about.
Wow, that's interesting. That's a very, very interesting journey, like you said earlier. And while you were having that, when you were saying that, I was just thinking about it. Now, you were able to discover that and make that transition quickly. But I'm sure in the course of your work as a HR practitioner and all of that, you come across a lot of people that many times a lot of people are stuck in careers that they do not want to. And I say to people, that's about the worst thing you can do for yourself, because you spend about a third of your life on your job. So if it is something that you hate to do, a third of your life is spending it doing something that you hate. So just in case someone is at that point right now, they have not discovered it up till now, they're probably in that career already, but they're feeling frustrated, they're feeling stuck. What would you advise they do in this kind of situation?
I think it's important to feel like you're not stuck and do not be afraid to pivot and to make a change. I think we get to a point where, we're comfortable and we know what we're doing and we may not like it, but there's no challenge of what we don't know. And a lot of people are scared of that future of, well, what if I'm not good at it? Or is it too late? Or am I too old? It's never too late. You're never too old to start over. And it's always important to pivot. Your mental health deserves it. You deserve it personally. It just accomplishes your life and your lifestyle. And I think it's important to always believe in yourself. I know even for myself, when I took that year off and I was like, what do I want to do? And I was in a good position where I was helping train and, the restaurant work, and I was doing really well, but I still was like, I need more. And I could feel that I was, at my end with where I was like, I need to do more. And so sometimes you get to that feeling of, I'm not happy and I know I need to do more. And you have to push yourself because it's never too late. I know people personally that have gone back to college at 45 and, they didn't give up. And it's not too late to find your passion and your happiness.
Thank you for sharing that. That's really, really very valuable. Thank you very much. Now, we know one of the things you're passionate about is, encouraging or ensuring that we have diversity in the workplace, right? And
Yes.
these webinars have been particularly tailored towards the women, and I mean, we are passionate about supporting the minority communities, and with the women fall under these communities. Now, sometimes we have some form of systemic barriers that may or biases that may prevent the excellence of particular people, especially the women in this case. So can you share maybe a personal experience of yours that you've encountered where you've had to deal with some form of systemic barriers or biases, especially as a Black woman in the workplace? Have you experienced any of these, and would you mind sharing some of these experiences with us?
Yes. So I can tell you personally, I'd taken on a short contract role with a consulting firm when I was first starting out in HR and really trying to figure out what sector or what organization would fit for me. And so I'd gone to this smaller company where they were a huge legacy company. Everyone knew them and it was hard to get into, but it was very male dominated. The diversity, I think, was 2%. And so when I walked in, it was myself and another Black woman that had worked there for 20 years. So she had already established herself, and she was in the finance department. So here I am walking into this company, super excited to help because I was hired as a HR generalist to help with diversity. And so I was excited to take part. Okay, this is a company that wants to change and they want to do the work and they can see the problem. But when I started, there was hints of maybe this company, they're more of a I want to show that I'm doing the work instead of actually digging down and doing the work. And I remember there was this one incident when, I knew my contract wasn't being extended and they were kind of dangling that carrot in my head where they said, "Hey, we're going to extend your contract after 3 months and we're going to hire you on." And, they just kept dangling it. And I was like, what is going on? And I remember having a conversation with HR director and I said, "Hey, I'm really looking for a full-time role. I am going to start looking. I need to put my 2 weeks in." And I remember him directly looking at me and saying, "Well, you're never going to get better. You aren't that good. Your skills are never going to be great." And it was shocking to me in that moment. I remember saying, "Oh my gosh, why would you say that?" Throughout my entire career there, it was all good feedback of, "You're amazing, you're doing great, you're finding avenues for us to have more diverse people, and, you're really great at leadership and helping us out." And then right when I change direction and I'm not following the path is when I get hit with this, "Well, you're not great," all of these just negative feedbacks. And for me, it was like, whoa, a shocker. But then it also was, a reward because I did see the real culture. Because if someone's ever looking to make a move to better their self, the right thing to do, and especially to a Black woman, would be to encourage them, to give them help, to, extend an arm. But it had really shown, and I'd seen little instances here and there, but it really shown that the HR director had a lot of biases, and they came out as soon as I was like, "Well, I'm looking for better." It was, "You're never going to be great. You're going to get fired. If you ever make a mistake, we are the best that you can ever get. But also, I don't want to hire you on full time, and you're not going to get the development needed to go to that next level." And so it was pretty much stay here, be our highlight, but also don't leave us or I'm going to attack you. So really a tough position to be in, but it's always important to believe in yourself. And if you are in a position where someone says, discriminatory things, or you're not great, or you're never going to have a chance to move on or be better or have that growth and development that you're seeking, never be afraid to leave. Never be afraid, to have those conversations that this place is not for me.
Oh, wow. I mean, hearing your own experience, that's quite, I mean, imagine being told that when you felt everything was going so very well for you. And you kind of talked about, working in an environment where there's really very little diversity, and it just reminded me of my own situation as well. For many people that know, I'm also a primary school teacher here in Ireland as well. And one of the things I was faced with when I came into Ireland, I was told that you can never become a primary school teacher in Ireland. And the reason is that 99% of primary school teachers in Ireland are either white, Irish, or female, which I did not qualify for any of those. So I was told the same thing: you can't become a primary school teacher. Well, cut the long story down the line, I mean, I've achieved all of that. And, it just goes to show how people set limitations over us based on certain biases or and all of that. So for someone that may have experienced this as well, or probably might experience this kind of situation, what strategies have you found that are very effective in advocating for yourself and for maybe even others as well that may be experiencing this? What strategies would you prefer or have you found to be very effective in doing this?
I think it's always important to take a step back, never to act on that immediate emotion of "I'm upset" or "I'm angry." Taking a step back and really understanding what they said, and then taking notes on that and following up in an email, or, asking for clarification. What did you really mean by that? And then it's always important to have an ally, whether that's within the company, which is great if you can have someone there to really have a conversation with and speak about, a situation that you're going with. But if you don't have an ally within the company, having someone at home or in your personal life or a mentor that you really trust and can have a conversation with and navigate those issues and problems. For me, I did have an ally within the company, and I was able to, really have her counsel me. Am I overreacting, or did this situation really happen? And was it discriminatory? And that ally, she was 100% there for me, but she had also been 20 years experienced and was able to give me feedback in not a, way where she just took his advice or took mine. And so really level-headed, it's always important to take that step back and really never act on emotions. And then if you have to, if I'm trying to fight, but there's no one helping me or there's no ally in the company, never be afraid to move. Never be afraid to, continue on. Your journey is not where you are. You can always keep going. You can always find something better. And there is something better out for you. If you feel like you're stuck in a corner, or if no one's helping you, or there's no allyship at your company, or even, if you're in school, there is allyship. You just have to seek it out. And you can do that by conversations and trying to meet people.
There you go. You've heard her say it. Obviously get feedback and then get an ally. And like she rightly said, and just in case you don't have any ally right there, don't be afraid to move. Whatever they have said to you is not true. You are good enough to get something better out there. That's fantastic. Now, our conversation is about having growth in and out of the workplace. Now, as a coach, I get to speak with a lot of people, and one of the things that get to hear many times from people is the reasons why they can't achieve this or that is because they don't have enough time and all of that. And you wonder, a lot of people get to achieve so much within that time, but they don't have enough time. So in your own experience, as a professional balancing various roles and responsibilities, what time management techniques have you found to be useful, and what can you share with people out there that may be struggling with time management as well?
Yes, I will speak about time management, and I will put this out as a woman because I have 4 small children, all under 6. I am in my MBA program, and then I work full time.
Well,
And so
okay,
it is possible to do
sorry
it.
to cut you. I wanted you to say that again. You have 4. Please repeat what you just said. Thank you.
Yes, it sounds crazy. So 4 small children, all under 6.
Wow.
And then I am in my MBA program, and I do work full time. So you can do it. It is achievable. And I want to say that because I hear a lot of people saying, I don't have time, or how can I do this? Well, technology has helped us extremely because you can take classes online. You can take professional development certifications online if you need, as well as working. I know a lot of companies are trying to push us back into the office, but keep your eyes out for those flexible jobs, or those jobs where, they are fully remote. And if you can't find a fully remote job, those jobs that are flexible, that have the hybrid option, or that can be flexible with time. I've been lucky enough to find hybrid and remote jobs throughout my career, but I have also been able to negotiate flexible times as well. So being able to negotiate that, but making sure, you have written out what you're looking for and what you need. And also with time management, it's really setting that boundary with yourself. I deleted all streaming platforms, so I don't watch any TV after work. I spend time with my family, and then I go right to my schoolwork. And being able to have that true determination with yourself and telling yourself, hey, this is my priority right now. For the next 6 months, I may burn out by the end of that 6 months, but I know I can do it. I have these goals. Write them down. I cannot tell you how much writing something down, looking at it and saying, this is what I want to accomplish within the next 3 months. That will ultimately help you. And by the time that 3 months come up and you finish it, you feel so good knowing that I completed this. I did this. Yes, I may be tired, but I accomplished it because I was determined.
Wow. I'm still trying to get over the fact, like, what you said, because I have 2 under 9, yeah, and I know how challenging it is. And
Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine having four. I mean, I don't know if if you heard some noise on the background because they're running around the house, they're excited and all of that. I can imagine.
Yes.
And you rightly said you're a wife, you're a mother, you have so many other things that you're doing as well. So that's really amazing seeing you being able to manage all of this. Now you mentioned something there in passing there. And I just wanted you to talk about it a bit, right? And which is about work-life balance, right? So how do you
Yeah.
set boundaries to ensure that you have work-life balance, especially considering that you have demands as with your job, demands as a mother, demands coming from different places. How do you get to set boundaries with work-life balance?
Boundaries are so important, and it's important to establish them earlier. Work can always bleed over, and especially if you allow it to. So, first things first is to set those boundaries. I work from 7 to 3. And so that means from 7 to 3, I am available. After 3 o'clock, I am not, and I will get back to you the next day. And not letting that bleed over, not checking your phone for your work email or not logging back in and responding to an email at 4:30, but allowing people to understand I'm going to block my calendar out after 3 p.m. So you cannot schedule a conversation with me or a meeting with me and before 7 o'clock because, we do have global companies. It's important to set that expectation early. But if you can, if there's times where, you do have to have a flex schedule and I have to work a little later, well, then I need to work a little later in the morning and set those boundaries there. I worked 10 hours today. Well, tomorrow I'm going to work 6 hours. Continuing to set those boundaries at work is important. Ultimately, what I like to do again is say, hey, my work hour is 7 to 3. After that, if you need to be in touch with me, if there's an emergency, I will be there tomorrow. It's, nothing is more important than your mental health, your family, and making sure that you have those boundaries because you can and you will burn out if you allow work to always be in the forefront of your family.
Fantastic. Thank you very, very much. You talked about burnout there. I just remembered late last year, I had a conversation with Avery Thatcher. For those that are wondering, it's out there. Was one of the similar conversations, and all we talked about was burnout and how to deal with burnout and all of that. So if you're interested, you can check out my YouTube or any of my socials. You can get that conversation there. Now, one of the things that is popularly said is as an individual, as an entity, you need to be growing, because if you're not growing, you are dying. And the mindset is very, very important in terms of growth. So how do you get to maintain your own growth mindset and persevere through the setbacks and challenges? Because no one ever said there wouldn't be those setbacks. Someone may hear you talking about, all the things you've achieved and all of that, and they feel that it's all the pack of roses. But you need to understand that there have been challenges along the way, and there will be challenges along the way. So when you are faced with such challenges, how do you get to maintain and develop that growth mindset on your journey?
And I'm glad you said that because there's always challenges. Throughout my career, I've been challenged. I've been laid off when layoffs hit in 2022. And then also, those challenges of what do I want to do within school and feeling like a failure and I don't know and having to change. So the growth mindset for me, it's personally, again, having that community around you and really speaking to the relationships that you have and having those pick me ups and just having a quick coffee chat of a conversation when you feel like I can't do it, I'm stuck, I'm hitting a wall. Having someone there that you can rely on to say it's okay, take a break, or I trust in you, I know you can do it, you just need a little more time. Or someone that can say, hey, come with me, I'm working on a project, would you like to help me or shadow me? Having a community around you is so important to having a growth mindset, but also it's important that you always look at yourself and say, I know that I want to develop, and I'm not going to rely on my company to do that for me. I know that if I want to achieve and if I want to get to that next level, if I want to be the best that I can do, I need to look at myself and ask, okay, I know my company is providing me X, Y, and Z, but what else can I do to make myself stand out and be that star? And so it's important to always look at what's going on. Well, we know that technology is always, evolving and changing. So is there something that I can learn, or is there a certificate can I do? And just having that curious mindset, it really allows you to stay in that growth mindset. And honestly, the world is constantly changing. And so it's important to have that growth mindset. You want to be on the verge of, well, I'm curious about something. I want to be in the forefront because that makes you valuable. You're very valuable when you're curious. And it's a value to have for yourself because you are always learning, you are always achieving. And it is great to feel, just for yourself, okay, I can accomplish anything I want because I'm curious, or I can learn something new because I'm curious and I enjoy it.
Wow. I mean, it's really nice to hear your own experiences as well. So you're coming from a point of someone that has experienced these things and not just, giving some, theories and all of that. You kind of mentioned there that you lost your job at some point and all of that as well. So for someone that may have experienced that, or maybe even presently going through that, they just lost their jobs, the company has downsized and decided to lay them off and all of that, and they are stuck right now. Can you share, I mean, how did you how did you overcome that? What level of determination or what strategies did you use and you would recommend, or maybe something you had known, something you know now that if you had applied when you were going through that situation would have been better, so that the next person could actually learn from that. Please talk to us a bit about that as well.
Yes, it's important. So for me, when I did get laid off, it was important for me to sit in those feelings for about a week and to really feel, okay, I am upset. Why did this happen to me? Just to feel all the emotions, the anger, the sadness. Okay, maybe this happened for the best. Because you want to go through those emotions, that's a very natural thing. And then also pick yourself back up. Okay, it happened. There's nothing you can do about it. Let's move forward. It's always let's move forward. Let's see what else is out there because there's always a better opportunity. And if you are laid off right now, if you feel like, okay, I'm applying to 1,000 jobs and I'm not hearing back, or I'm being declined from all these jobs and I'm being rejected, it's okay. What I like to always tell myself, and how I got through it, was to tell myself it's okay to be rejected or declined from a job because that's just redirection, and it's redirecting me to what's for me and what I will be able to do and what I will be able to thrive at. And success is coming for you. I think it's important to have that mindset. Positivity, I know it can be hard when you're in a position of, I just got laid off and I don't know what to do, but changing your mindset and having that positive mindset will always be key. If you sit and dwell in that negative mindset, you will go into experiences and interviews kind of negatively. So even if you have to fake it, and your mind will just evolve there. But faking that positivity or being positive and truly trying to find something that helps you, that will help you get to that next level. And I think another point is having a hobby outside of work. It's important to not just hold work as, this is what I do, this is who I am, this is my identity. Have something else that really brings you joy and makes you happy. For me, it's gardening, it's plants. And so I was laid off, but I was able to take all that, that negative energy and put it into my plants and make that positive and, really help my mental health and be happy and bring me something to do while I'm looking for a job and while I'm trying to get to that next level.
Oh, wow, that's really, really amazing. Some valuable tips there, like you rightly said. Get something else that you love to do, get a hobby. I'm sure your plants would have been happy at that time that you had more time to spend with them. So get something, get a pet, get something you could channel that energy into. And like you talked about the mindsets, have a mindset that you are the best at what it is that you do. Now, you may have failed at something, you have been let go of from something, but I can always explain to people, failure is not a person, it is just an event. So the fact that you failed at something doesn't mean you are a failure. Keep at it. And like you rightly said, you go on an interview and you don't get called back. Have it mindset. It's their loss. It's not your loss. They lost the opportunity to have you on their team and not the other way around. Now, you mentioned something while we were talking about the importance of having a supportive community, right? So what role have professional networks, employee resources groups and all of that, mentorship programs, what role do they have in your career development from your own experience as a HR professional?
Yes, they have been significant to me. At one point, I had 6 mentors within 1 year, and so
Wow.
mentorship is important. Those relationships are important. But for me, how I look at it is, it's important to have people in those senior roles or even at that same level as you, because we all have different experiences and we all navigate the world differently. And so being able to communicate with different people or different people at different levels, it really allows you to grow. It allows you to understand how to communicate with other people, how to work with other people, and how to take your own projects and your own growth to the next level. It's important to have a mentorship and that community support. ERGs, employee resource groups, are extremely important in being involved with a company, but also, again, networking and meeting more people. And it doesn't have to be on the ground in the company. You can find that online. There's always people and always support online. I actually found a woman's professional development group online on TikTok, actually. And so I'd submitted my application to be in that, and I was accepted. A strong network, a strong cohort of wonderful women that I was able to learn with, create conversations with, scenarios, really develop ourselves in the corporate world. And it was great to find those people, really nurture our relationships. But if you're looking for a community, if you feel like I don't have that support, or, I really need it, don't hesitate to look online or look on LinkedIn and create those real conversations and real networks, because believe it or not, people are there to support you. Everyone wants to have someone that they can have a short conversation with, or a check-in, or hey, let's just meet and, see what we can learn from each other, or I'm interested in your background. Can we connect? A lot of people are open to that, but I think a lot of people are scared to make that first initial outreach and conversation.
That's very, very valuable. Thank you very much. Over the week, I was at an event, and in the course of the networking aspect of the event, and I was sharing with someone that I'm actually an introvert, and the person was struggling hard to believe that. You've been everywhere having a chat, networking so easily. Who would have imagined? And this morning as well, I was at another event, and I was speaking with a colleague that she put together a training for how introverts could network. And so just wanted to ask, there are certain people that seem to be, they're introverts. They're not very great at that. So what advice would you give to them? Because how would they develop this? So how would they create this supportive networks if they're actually introverts and are not very, very outspoken as some other people? What recommendations would you give to them on that?
Yes, believe it or not, I look at myself as introvert. Which can be crazy, but I do think I'm an introvert, and so what advice I would give is to start small. Look at people that you would be interested in having a conversation, or that you admire. So if there's 5 people that you could identify on LinkedIn, it would be smart to start there and just send them a connection invite, and then send them a message and say, hi, I'm really intrigued with your background. Let's, have a small coffee chat. Do you have 15 minutes to have a conversation? The worst that you can be told is no. And so I think that's where you need to look at it, is the worst I can be told no is no, but I probably will be told yes, because a 15-minute conversation is not a lot out of someone's day. And it's important, again, to start with someone that you would be interested in having a conversation with. And if they can't have a coffee chat, well, we can message online on LinkedIn until you can. Sometimes for me, when I'm really interested in someone's background, or even at work, when I say, okay, this person is a star, I want to have a conversation with them, and they're kind of introverted and they don't want to have those conversations, I can tell they're really shut down, I'll just keep, nicely just attacking them and saying, hey, I love your work, let's have a conversation, until they're like, okay, I give up. This girl will not stop, harassing me. And I've gotten mentors that way, where I'm like, I'm just excited to see who you are, or I've looked at your background and you started from here and now you're here and I love it, or I love what you do. I love who you are. You're a very nice person, and I just want to have a conversation with you. And I think it's important, slow but steady. Don't be afraid to start out and have those conversations.
Thank you very much. Very, very interesting thoughts there. I mean, we're enjoying this. We wish we could have you for forever, but we need to gradually start bringing this home. And this
Yes.
just to say to everyone out there, for those that are joining from whatever platforms, if you have any questions or comments or whatever, just drop them right there in the chats. We will try and take them. I see something from Mr. Pranesh. Pranesh is joining us all the way from South Africa today, and he has a number of comments there. He says procrastination is the barrier to one's passion to succeed. That's very, very correct. Thank you, Mr. Pranesh, and for every other person that has dropped one comment or the other. Now, if you could recommend maybe one book or one online resource or one video or whatever it is for anybody out there right now, in terms of professional development, how to build themselves to ensure they can get growth in and out of the workplace, what would that be?
If I could think of one book. For me, I am big at TED Talks, and so I will just browse TED Talks and see what's streaming and see who's going on there. So I can't really recommend one, but I can recommend looking at videos or even again finding someone that you're interested in. For me, I will go on LinkedIn. I will browse. I will, if someone catches my eye or if I see someone's background and I'm really just stunned at how they got there or I want to see their path, I will look at them. I will dial in. But again, TED Talks are my favorite. I enjoy learning about people. I enjoy hearing, their trials and tribulations. I think it's important to have that authenticity. And so being able to see people speak and understand what they've been through is important to me. And it helps me to relate to when I feel like, okay, I'm seeing someone that is where I would like to be, or why am I only here, or, why didn't it happen to me? Being able to take it back and say, okay, let's look up a video of someone's real conversation of where they have been and where they are now. That always helps me. I think just that realness of it.
Fantastic. And yes, Tech Talk is actually a fantastic resource, having so much value packed into just about 15 minutes. That's really, really
Yes.
amazing. Short and sharp, straight to the point. And there are very, very amazing ones out there. Thank you very much. Now, imagine you woke up one morning, right? And just about everything we knew about Alexis had disappeared. All your years of experience, all the work you've done in the past, gone down the drain. No one had ever heard about you, and you had to start to build your career all over again. Where would you start from, and what are you going to do differently this time?
If I had to rebuild, I would start hands on. I would start hands on at a small company, maybe at a startup, where I can work cross functionally, where I can learn from my peers around me, where I can really be hands on with starting processes and understanding problems from start to finish, end to end processes. And I think that's important because when you are at a small startup like company, you really get to wear multiple hats. And I know people say that a lot, and it's like, oh, you wear multiple hats. But no, you truly are learning and doing the job of many. And within HR, I definitely would still be within HR, but being able to wear every hat within that and being strong and having that discipline is where I would be. And I think it's important for myself and for professional and personal development to always have that growth mindset where I'm not just siloed working in one position, but able to wear many hats and do many things and contribute in many ways.
Fantastic. Thank you so very much. So, if people wanted to maybe connect with you in one way or the other, or maybe secure your services in one way or the other, what's the best place for them to go to do that?
The best way to connect with me would be on LinkedIn. And I can log my LinkedIn, but it would be linkedin.com with my name, Bird, Alexis, and then E. You could find me. I am always on LinkedIn, very, very available on there, and always happy to connect and network with people.
And just to mention as well, we also connected on LinkedIn as well, and that's how we
Yes.
got this conversation going in. So yes, I can say that yes, you're really easily accessible on LinkedIn. So before we let you go, one last word, comments for our viewers that are watching right now, wondering on how they can accelerate growth in and out of the workplace. What would that be?
Always believe in yourself. Never listen to other people's, never let, that doubt get to you, and don't compare yourself. You are where you're supposed to be. Don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid of the pivot. Don't be afraid of what's new. Always keep going. You can do anything that you want. If you said tomorrow, I want to change and be a doctor, you can do that. You can absolutely do that. You can do whatever you want to do. Do not be afraid to go forward. And when you do have those days where you feel doubtful, or you feel like, I have to give up, or I'm tired, or I'm burnt out, just remember to lean on somebody. And if you don't have anyone, reach out to someone. Reach out to someone on LinkedIn. Don't be afraid to do that. But again, never feel like I can't do something, because you can do whatever you want. If you put your mind to it, if you say it, if you mean it, you can get it done. You can be where you want to be.
Oh, wow. Thank you so very much, Alexis. That's been really, really awesome. We've had so much fun on this conversation. Like I said, I wish it could go on and on and on. But I mean, on behalf of myself and everybody that is joining this call right now, and even those that are going to, get to see this afterwards, I'd like to appreciate you for taking time out of your very, very busy schedule. For those that were not aware, Alexis was a bit under the weather a few days back, but she said, no, I will be there. I'm going to make it. And we really, really appreciate you for that. So thank you very, very much for taking our time out of your very, very busy schedule to do this. And for everybody out there that has joined us as well, thank you very, very much. The videos are still going to be there. You can go back and refer to them and share them with someone that you feel will need to watch these over and over again. Like I said earlier, we are hosting the Impact Leadership Conference. The next destination is Birmingham. For those that have attended the conferences before, they've been really, really amazing. The Manchester conference that we just finished last month, we had a lady that flew in from Bangladesh to join the conference in Manchester. That's how impactful the conferences have been. It's to help you to accelerate growth in your career, in your business, and in your personal life. So if you want to be a part of that conference, it is actually free for you to be a part of it, but you need to register. Someone should have dropped the links for you in the chat so that you can register for that. And just to encourage you, if you're not following any of our socials that you're watching this from, please like and subscribe to our channels on YouTube, LinkedIn, and all of that, so that you can always get details like this. This series still continues. The next, excuse me, the next one we're going to be having is on Monday, which is Monday the 25th. We're going to be having another one as well. So you want to be a part of that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been amazing being your host once again today. I've enjoyed every bit of this. And once again, thank you to Alexis for doing this with us. So until I come your way again, remember there's greatness on your inside and the world is waiting for you to birth and manifest that greatness. Go out there and be profitable, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Shay.